From the Samsung Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
It was a touching learning experience, a way to pay tribute to the young victims of the Connecticut massacre. Local students writing books in memory of those victims, our top story on News 13 for this Friday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. It was a different kind of story hour today. Hazleton area students sat down and read to preschoolers books that the older kids had written. Christina Papa listened in and found out why the books they read were extra special.
These preschoolers were in for a treat today. High school students came in to read the kids some very special books.
You look at their face when I'm reading the book and their faces are lighting up. It's a wonderful feeling, it really is.
But these weren't just any books. Each of the published writings was written and drawn by the high school students who were reading them.
It was a project we started out just because we're in a creative writing class, and to write our own book is a really big accomplishment.
Creative writing teacher Pam Bromley has been publishing her students' writing for 3 semesters. But this semester was a little different. Each book was written in memory of a child who was killed in the Sandy Hook shooting. Senior Will Mathis dedicated his book to 5-year-old Noah Posner, one of the 20 students who was shot and killed during the Sandy Hook massacre.
Noah wanted to be an architect of some sorts, and he would love to build stuff, and his spirit is themed throughout the book, you know, like just the thought of building and creativity and going new places with his work.
Noah was the same age as some of the preschoolers who sat and listened to a book written in his memory today.
They're so innocent, and they just, I don't know, it's sad.
And the students were the only one the books were dedicated to. This one, called Madam Defender, was dedicated to teacher Anne Marie Murphy, who shielded her children and saved their lives during the shooting last year in Sandy Hook. The writings have always been donated to a needy organization, but after hearing about the devastation in Sandy Hook, the group has decided to send one of the 2 printed books to the families of the victims. Pam Bromley calls the project a labor of love.
And so that particular book will be given to the family that corresponds with the victim, and also a set will be in the Sandy Hook Library.
Will said he had fun reading to the kids today, and he hopes his first published book will help Noah's family heal.
I was hoping that when they would read this, they would see the spirit that their young child had and would love it, hopefully.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazel Township.
Back to the drawing board for the Hazleton Area School District after the district support staff union shot down a fact finder suggestion about a new contract. Members of the Hazleton Area's Education Support Professionals Association rejected recommendations made by the fact finder, which were already approved by the school board. Negotiations broke down back in April, and the union chose to bring in a fact finder to help find a compromise between the school board and the staff labor union, which includes cafeteria workers and secretaries. Now, union president Mary Bass says the fact finder suggestions would create more debt for the workers who are the most poorly paid in the district. Meanwhile, school director Steve Hahn says the district wants to resolve the conflict.
The premium share and the increased deductible would have a negative impact in our employees, and most of which don't even make $15,000 a year, that they would be in the hole at least hundreds of dollars, if not thousands in many cases.
The other options that the district would have would be either layoff or furlough of employees, which was done a couple years ago. Is a very difficult thing. No one wants to do that. Or it'd have to look at some kind of a privatization of some of the things, maybe put that out for bid if it's a way to save money.
Members of the support staff union have been working without a contract since June of 2011. Well, the streets of McAdoo are considerably more drug-free today after police there sweep a slew of drug dealers off the streets. News 13 was there yesterday as a parade of drug dealers were marched into the McAdoo Police Department for processing and arraignment. By mid-afternoon, officers had picked up almost all the alleged dealers for whom they had warrants. Here's a list of the people they arrested. Most of them were charged with possession and intent to deliver just about everything from heroin to crack, cocaine, marijuana, even some prescription drugs. The ongoing roundup was conducted by McAdoo Police within their own department and is in keeping with the borough's no tolerance initiative.
This actually goes along with our zero tolerance policy. We have been actively getting people for just the small things, and it just gets to be bigger. And that's just basically to keep the crime statistics down in this borough.
And the chief says that we can expect additional arrests as part of Operation Clean Street. Some Hazleton City officials are confounded by a letter they received yesterday. It came from Luzerne County and pressures them to allow the county to take over the Hazleton bus system. And as Matthew Petrillo tells us, city officials aren't giving in.
So here's the...
Sifting through the two-page letter from PennDOT, City Administrator Steve Hahn says he's baffled by its language and timing.
It was very unexpected. There's been no discussion about this in probably the last 9 months. No phone calls, no other correspondence, and all of a sudden a letter shows up saying you have 2 weeks to say whether you're going to agree to this merger or not.
Hahn says the letter suggests that the county is seeking to add riders to its books. That comes about a year after 2 county officials charged that county drivers were counting ghost riders as an attempt to increase state funding.
And maybe this is an effort to tap the kitty in Hazleton and raid the bank here, because this is a very efficient operation here.
Now, the letter pressures Hazleton officials to accept a merger with the Luzerne County Transportation Authority. It said it would save about $1 million, and more than half of that would include administrative costs. But Hahn says those numbers don't add up.
The whole payroll for transit is not even $100,000. So it's how do you save $200,000 or $300,000 when it's only $100,000 to begin with? Commuters mostly say they're happy with the city managing the buses.
It's all good. It's better walking in this hot heat.
I love taking the bus. It's very good to get around for transportation when you can't afford a vehicle, or, we're on disability, so works out great.
Why fix something that's not broken?
Calls to the Luzerne County Transportation Authority were not answered, but Hahn says the Hazleton Bus Authority will remain under the city. So that the city and people locally can make decisions on things rather than have that be done and dictated to us from the folks in an authority up in Wilkes-Barre somewhere. City officials are currently drafting a letter to the county in response. They plan to mail that, declining the offer, next week. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Hazleton.
Still ahead on News 13, is it hot enough for you? It'll stay that way, but then some showers will move in, and we'll tell you when in News 13 weather. But first, the Schuylkill County community rallies around one of its own who needs a life-saving transplant. We'll tell you about what they're doing when News 13 continues. A Girardville man now has less than 9 days to get a new heart. Otherwise, he'll be taken off a priority list and his surgery will be put on hold indefinitely until he finds another one. But as Matthew Petrillo tells us, his friends are doing all they can to help.
3 years ago, Robbie Crick was a healthy guy. He managed a job, wife, and his house. But then he had a heart attack and later found out he has heart failure. He was told he would need a new heart.
I get fatigued and a little bit short of breath, but previously I was passing out. I haven't done that since I've been in the hospital last time.
University of Pennsylvania Hospital has since given him that LVAD. It connects to his heart.
It's an electric pump that attaches to the left ventricle and your aorta, and it pumps blood.
His heart isn't all that's hurting. Now, he has insurance, but he already spent $10,000 of his own money in medical costs. And that number could easily double if and after he gets a surgery.
Now, my copays aren't terrible, but they've been a lot of them, and they're consistent. Yesterday, I had some copays, and every time I go in the hospital, it's a couple $100 or $1,000. So.
But he's not too worried about money. He just wants a heart, and he has 9 days to do it before he's no longer at the top of the list.
Still a good chance of getting a heart, but it's not the same as the situation I'm in right now.
And while his friends can't give him a heart, they are doing their part. The Girardville Knights of Columbus are holding a hoagie sale to raise money for him. Last day to order is June 17th.
They're all very thoughtful and kind, and we're very lucky. He's very lucky.
They're the kind of support that when you're really sick, really sick, keeps you going.
It's one day at a time. That's all it can be. And you just hope that things are going to change and they're going to get better and he's going to be taken care of and it'll be over with and life go back to normal.
And since his copays are quickly adding up, his friends also started a fund in his name. More details of that and the hoagie sale are at our website, SSPTV.com. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Girardville.
Well, the weather is perfect to take a walk outdoors and enjoy the sunshine and the warm temperatures. It's also perfect for the annual Relay for Life starting this evening. Crews were busy at Hazleton Area Stadium setting up for the important event that's hosted by the American Cancer Society. The Relay is a 24-hour event whose purpose is to celebrate cancer survivors, remember those who lost their battle, and help raise money to find a cure. It starts at 5 o'clock tonight, and organizers expect to see an amazing turnout thanks to the terrific weather.
I think we're going to have a great turnout. Last year it poured and we still had amazing turnout. I think this beautiful weather, we're going to see more people come out. Even if you're watching this at home, come out and celebrate. Anybody can come, it's free.
As you can see, there are a ton of fun events planned throughout the night, including walking laps in your pajamas, a chicken dance lap, and even a beach party lap. Again, the relay starts at 5 o'clock tonight and goes all the way until 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. Time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar. What you see is the radar picking up the humidity that's out there, and things will stay storm-free, but will change up once we get into the weekend. Creative Conditions says it all. It's by Diana Hoyle as a student at Hazleton Elementary Middle School, and she did a beautiful sunburst coming out of the clouds. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. It'll be partly cloudy tonight with the low down to 62 degrees. And there you go. Hey, look at those kids having fun in the sun at the Cunningham Pool. Good for them. I wish I was there. On Saturday, mostly sunny with a scattered late afternoon showers and thunderstorms and a high near 83. Occasional storms continue into the evening with a low around 63. And let's head back to Schuylkill County for tonight. Mostly clear with a low around 63 degrees. And then Saturday, mostly sunny with isolated showers and thunderstorms after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A high near 87 degrees and a chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight with a low only getting down to 66 degrees. And now let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. The daily, 225. The big 4, 6017. Quinto, 81990. And the treasure hunt, 6, 7, 10, 15, 22. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Mega Sports Camp is returning to Faith Assembly of God this summer. Kids ages 3 through 12 can choose between basketball, soccer, cheerleading, or the performing arts. The program will run through June 24th through June 28th. For more information or to pre-register your kids, please call 570-459-2410. And finally, the American Cancer Society invites you to the 19th Annual Relay for Life that begins tonight at 5 p.m. and will run through tomorrow at 5 p.m. Join a team or make a donation right now. For more information, please give them a call, 570-459-1212, extension 2102. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Dr. Jennifer Ann Sederi of West Piston. Mass will be held Monday at 9:30 a.m. at the Corpus Christi Parish at the Immaculate Conception Church. Friends may call at the St. Barbara Parish Center Sunday from 2 to 4 and 6 to 8 p.m. Arrangements are by the Gubbiotti Funeral Home. David A. Shell of Fern Glen. Mass is Monday at 9 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m. John Jack Petrovich of Hazleton. Services were held today from the Holy Rosary Church. Arrangements are under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Margaret Ruth Burke of Limerick. Private services will be held at the convenience of the family. The Rosenstock Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Linda D. Blair of Hunlock Creek. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. Suzanne I. Gregg of Stockton. Arrangements will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. And Helen Sokolowski of McAdoo. Arrangements will be announced by the Stanley E. Anilowski Funeral Home. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages.
SSPTV Sports on News 13.
Well, it's almost been a 20-year run for Hazleton native Bob Simmons. Bishop Hafey graduate, former Coach AD down at Hafey. Then he got involved in the Division III level, rose all the way to the Division I ranks at Lehigh and Ball State. And he fell victim when Billy Taylor was let go just about a month and a half ago. But not surprisingly, he landed on his feet. Now, the surprising part is he's back home in northeastern Pennsylvania, albeit not Hazleton, close enough that we can now get to see him a lot more often. And yesterday, we got to see him up close and personal for the first time officially as the new coach up at Marywood. Our Mike Madry was there and checked in with Bob. Get ready for the Marywood run.
Bob Simmons spent the past 11 seasons as a D1 basketball coach, but he's trading that all in and becoming the fourth coach of the D3 Marywood Pacers. For Simmons, it's not only special because he's named Marywood head basketball coach, it's special because he's coming home.
Oh, it is everything to be back home. This is what we wanted. My family and I wanted this. When we found out that this opportunity was open and available, we wanted to go after this hard and aggressively. That's our style, and we did. But, you know, all our families back here, all our friends are back here, and we wanted to bring our children back and raise them in this area with our family.
The Hazleton native's most recent gig was coaching D1 Ball State at the assistant level, where he coached under Bobby Taylor for the past 11 seasons. His philosophy and coaching style made him an instant hit for the Marywood basketball program.
I firmly believe, after a long but very rewarding search committee, that Coach Bob, he is the person that will achieve all those aspects of success.
For Coach Simmons, he insists there's going to be no adjustment period. He goes from a D1 school in Ball State, which has 21,000 enrolled, to D3 Marywood, which has just under 4,000 students.
I don't really think there will be an adjustment coming from Division I to Division III. Basketball is basketball. You know, the biggest thing with coming to Division III, these young men are playing truly for the love of the game. They're not receiving a scholarship. They have to pay their own way. They have to get part-time jobs or work-study jobs. So they truly are playing for the love of the game, and I'm looking forward to getting back to that and seeing that excitement when they come to practice and when they're on the floor.
Coach Simmons wants to change the Marywood basketball program around. He will first start off by recruiting heavily from the area and says he vows to make Marywood a well-respected program during his tenure.
Marywood University will be in a lot of people's ears and a lot of people's homes in the very, very near future. I guarantee you that.
Mike Madry, News 13 Sports, Scranton.
Exciting day indeed for Bob Simmons, his whole family. To have him right back here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I would bet he's going to do a great job there. We'll be monitoring, of course, but too hot to be playing basketball indoors right now. We'll get to that eventually, right? Let's not be in a hurry. We're enjoying the summer. Russ Kanzler's been enjoying the summer down in Norfolk, but it's nice and toasty down there. But Norfolk and Scranton Wilkes-Barre wrapped up their 4-game series yesterday, and with the Rail Riders winning, that means it was a split, 2 games apiece. Kanzler had 1 base knock yesterday, seems to have regained that stroke, and he'll be back in business for the rest of the summer, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Akron, they get by Harrisburg by the score of 3-2. And how about this slugfest in upstate New York last night? The Iron Pigs on the short end of things, 13-10 was the final there. Sounds more like a Buffalo Bills football score. Speaking of Buffalo, that's who's coming in to play Norfolk. There's the rest of the interesting games in the International League. And News 13 Sports is sponsored by Sand Springs, featuring a world-class golf course as well as celebrations, the area's most luxurious banquet and wedding facility.
It's the last day of May, and it's Sammy Jr.'s anniversary tomorrow, his 11th. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Short Shots. The Lady Cougars softball team at Hazelton area knocked off the powerful Williamsport Lady Millonarios 1-0 on Wednesday at Wilkes University in Edwardsville to capture the District 2 and 4 Class 4A Sub-Regional Softball Championship. Becky Demko, who has been nothing short of spectacular, pitched another 4-hit shutout gem. Besides that, she drove in Michaela Browdy in the 7th inning with the sacrifice fly, the game's only run. Tribal Pieces Terrifics are now 21-1, alive and well. It's way too early to say this, but Hazen area behind Becky Demko's arm and a lineup loaded with talent certainly has what it takes to go all the way. But no matter what happens from here on, it's all gravy. Congratulations to all concerned with this team and good luck, champs. What else? Marion Catholic's baseball team was ousted by Williams Valley, the Colts finished at 13-9, not too shabby. Brene Edwards, a former Hazelton area star and president of Mansfield University senior, captured the NCAA Division II 10,000-meter outdoor track and field national title in Pueblo, Colorado, which simply means Brene Edwards is a national champion. Now, that is a big deal. Congrats to her and her family. Tony Kanaan won the Indy 500 in his first. Notre Dame's sophomore quarterback, Everett Golson, has been dropped from the team and school because of poor athletic judgment, which is also referred to as plagiarism, which means cheating. His suspension sends the Notre Dame football program back to square one, which is two senior quarterbacks. One can run, one can throw. Golson did both well, but he's gone for at least this coming season. A devastating blow to Notre Dame and their diehard fans like me, mother of God. The San Antonio Spurs disposed of the Memphis Grizzlies in 4 games to reach the finals, and the Miami Heat won last night to lead the Indiana Pacers 3-2, and I'm sure they will also make it to the NBA Finals, which will start next Friday, June 7th, 1 week from tonight. The Relay for Life is tonight and tomorrow, and a big NASCAR race up in the Poconos on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Till Monday, stay loose.
And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. Friends from all across Schuylkill County rally around a man who needs a life-saving transplant. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.